Hello guys and girls, this is Lekshman and Jay. Welcome all of you to Global Coding Cohort. I hope all of you are doing well. Listen, are you all ready to move ahead? Uh, if there are any new viewers and if you don't know Python as well, you may watch all the previous live from session 2 to session 14. I have taught Python basics in those live streams. And today, uh, in the beginning, I'll explain you which I have missed uh, in the basics sessions. And after that, we will start solving competitive problems. We'll start from the very basic beginner level, and in the upcoming sessions, we will increase the difficulty level of our problem statements. I hope my audio and video is clear for everyone. If there is an issue, please let me know in the comments. And if you have any coding questions for which, for which you feel that you want help about how to solve it, you can submit that problem statement to me so that I will take that question and will solve in this live. I will explain you how the thinking process happened and how the solution is built. Got it? And link for submitting that problem statement is already given in the description of this live. You can find it there. And make sure that all of you take notes and write things in a way that you understand so that you can easily get to the point when you revise it later. And whenever I leave some gap in between in this slide, make sure that's the time for you to revise the things that we learned today. So that even if you have some doubt, you can directly either you can message me in WhatsApp or Telegram, or you can if you feel like you want to talk to me directly, you may say that in comments. I will ask you uh, at the end of the session. I will ask you at that time if you have any doubt, you can directly talk to me. You can say that in comments that you have some doubt and you want to talk to me. If I see many comments like that, I will be starting a Telegram meeting so that you can directly talk to me and clear all your doubts. Got it? So till yesterday we saw various basic steps of Python, and still we have left one more topic. That's not big. Okay, we already saw how to get input from the user, isn't it? And there are different ways to get input from the user so that our code runs effectively and fastly while getting input from user. And today we will start with that concept. Okay. I'm reminding you once again, if there are any new viewers and if you don't know Python, please make sure once after this live, please make sure that you watch all the previous live session. Go to my channel under live section. You can see all the saved copies of previous days live stream. From session 2 to session 14, I have explained most of the Python basics there. And today onwards, we'll be completely focusing on competitive coding. Got it? The first method is the first method to get input, which we saw already using input function. Python provides the built-in function, and that is input out, isn't it? Using this input function, you can get input from user. Uh, and the next way is method 2. I'm not going to execute these cells. I'll be showing you the time difference between the different methods. I told you, right, there are different ways we can get input from the user, and I'm going to show the difference in time between these methods. So what's the main aim of competitive coding? Why is it conducted? In interviews, we come across competitive coding round. We just say that as coding round. Why is that tested? If someone is able to, if someone is able to do this particular task, then it is assumed that that particular person is capable of doing the task whichever he faces in his IT career. Means this competitive coding needs reasoning, logical reasoning skills, analytical thinking skills, and or at the same time he should be strong in uh, basics of any language which he choose, and then he should be able to algorithmically translate the idea or the solution that he frames to a machine code. So a lot of skills combined together. To code some task, we need all these skills to come together to place and work. So they are checking our skills and capability. So if one is able to achieve the target given in competitive coding, then it means that particular person is capable of performing well in the software development projects as well. Understood? This is this competitive coding is not just to test. If you keep practicing it, your brain's capability itself will get increased day by day if you practice this competitive coding daily. Understood? So irrespective of your background or profession, all of you can learn coding. Just learning a programming language is not enough. Many of the people misunderstand that they, after learning any coding language, they say they know I know coding, I know coding. No, that is not the case. That is just a language. Coding means actually you should be able to give solution to any problem, and that too in a burst way. So in competitive coding, what are the tasks? You have to achieve the task given, or you have to give a solution to the problem displayed over there given to you. Okay. And next, the solution for the same problem, there we can have n number of solution for a same problem itself. But what is our task? Only if we have, if we think in different ways, we can we can come up with that different solution itself. So after we find different solution, we should choose the solution which is best. What is the metric to choose? Best solution. Yeah. So that is what we learned in the sessions yesterday and day before yesterday session. Time complexity and auxiliary space. That means the solution, your solution to that particular problem statement should run fast in the CPU and should use less memory. Got it? So time complexity measures how how much time this code will take. How much time means not the total time, but the rate depending on the depending on the input, your time complexity expression says the rate at which your code is going to uh, take, rate at which your code's execution time is going to increase based on the input value that you give. And auxiliary space gives an idea about how much memory space is going to be utilized over different input. That means for a given input, the rate of memory utilization, the rate of change in memory utilization, that is what is given by auxiliary space, isn't it? So as a developer, while you write coding itself, you should try to write a solution where, because this time complexity and auxiliary space can be calculated without running it itself, but just by seeing, just by during the solution for framing time itself, you can understand. You need not even run, because for some problem statement, if you try to run and find, for example, just take assume that you are a naive user. A user means you don't know anything about this thing. If you are provided with the task of finding a good algorithm from the given sets of algorithm, what will you do? You will you will take an algorithm, try that with a different input value, and you write down the execution time, and then you find the pattern within that, and then you will understand which is the good algorithm, isn't it? But as a developer, you should know before when you write itself, you should be able to judge your code whether this code will work faster at a very limited memory space. Got it? So, if a good coder's solution you, you should use very minimum time and minimum memory space. Understood? Okay. So, here the time is getting its important much, isn't it? So, uh, in getting input itself, there are different ways. Yesterday, I saw you time comparison of loop, isn't it? Between for, while, and recursion. And today, I'm going to show that difference in execution time between the different ways of getting input from the user. Next method is to import. Okay, or else, okay, no problem. Let's get the sys dot standard the redo. So this is method 2. Now let's see the difference between its time of execution. And in a normal way, we just okay, we give input. If you're directly trying to give input from here, then we'll just call like this and type our input values here. But for competitive coding, we may have different test cases. That means uh, we will have set of input and its corresponding output, the expected output, which we are planning to check. What is test case? We will see that one by one while we see the various problem statements. So at that time, as we go, we will learn all those steps. And to show you the difference, now I'll create a Python file. The same directory itself, I'll create a test file. What is my person directory? I can in this okay. Also, viewers, please note that we can use all the terminal commands within this Jupyter notebook itself by using this exclamation mark. If we give this, the the word that you type over here will be considered as the command, and that will be executed here. In Windows, we have command prompt, and in Mac and Linux, we have terminal license. So where we used to type certain commands and do certain system level tasks. The same thing, the same command you can utilize in Jupyter Lab or Notebook also, but by using this exclamation mark. Because if you do not give, then the interpreter is going to the system is going to consider this as a some variable name, and probably sometimes if it is not right as a syntax, then it's probably going to throw you an error. So whenever you are going to type some command, you should specify an exclamation mark at its start. Understood? So this is my present working directory. PWD is a command in Linux. If I'm using Linux, I'll be using these commands. In Windows also, there some of most of the commands will be same. There will be some difference in some set of commands. Okay, you can just search online and fix that. For Mac and Linux users, these commands are going to be absolutely same for both Linux and Mac users. Okay. Uh, Viewers, if you face any difficulties in this live, please let me know in the comments. Now at first, I'm going to take different values uh, from the user. I'm going to just assume that I'm going to take 5 values from the user. A1 is I can use input of method to get the input, isn't that? Is turn that 10. But to find its time, we will import a library called time. Here we will mention start equal to time dot time off. Then dot m equal to time dot time. This is to record the starting and ending time. Okay, that is the from here the code that we are trying to get input is input and printing the output is from 4 to 7 is our main code. And other codes are that we are writing that to check the execution time. Correct. Okay. Now we are going to print end minus start, and we are going to name this as input of normal or method 1 input. I'm going to name this as method 1 input dot py. As I am writing py, giving the extension dot py. Understood? This is not a notebook file, this is a py file. Notebook files will have cells like this, and we can write each line and execute one by one. And seeing that output, we can write the next line. But in py file, all these lines will be executed all at once when we run this file from our terminal. Here in our case, I will not be using. In other cases, I used to use terminal, but in this live session, I will be directly, without accessing the terminal, I will be showing you how to execute things from this Jupyter notebook itself. Understood? Now we need what some input file to pass to it, isn't? Otherwise, we will have to type one by one. Okay, before that, I'll show you uh, how to execute this. I'm going to give Python space, uh, some, not sample. What is the file name? Method. Okay, this is a file name. So if you execute this, okay, that's the thing. Uh, as we have created an environment, this environment is not getting activated. But let's try to activate that environment in this Jupyter notebook itself. Let's try. If it's not happening, then we will try to access our terminal. Okay. Source Okay, still this is not working here, but you can use all the commands here. Okay, as we are planning to run our code in the environment, this is not working. In other case, you can just use all the terminal commands over here, and you can just use it. So ls means list all the files that are within the directory. I'm not going to teach the Linux commands in this live session. That is out of the scope. Uh, but you can use. But in our case, as we want to run this code in our environment, it is not working right now. So I will type. I will share my terminal now. Is it visible for all of you? I will show you. Soon I will transfer. Is my terminal visible for all of you? Currently, you are seeing that my Jupyter lab is running. Okay, I have another environment open here. Let me deactivate that. Base is my another working environment, my professional environments which I am using in our system. And now let's activate our custom environment, which is nothing but coding. So, okay, so already we are located within this global coding cohort. So it is enough just to mention this VLU bin activate because we are already standing within this directory global coding cohort. So that's why we gave this path. Otherwise, we have to specify the full path. Okay. Now let's try to run our code. What is method input dot type? Python 3. For each and happens. Sorry, I have made a small. Okay. Instead of for, I gave from for each. Okay. Now I have updated my code. I have changed this from to for. Okay. Now you can see it's asking for input. That's why it is waiting. So if I give 1, it will take. Then it is asking because I gave 5, isn't it? I'm looping in 5 times. So it will ask 5 times 20 input. So as I took 14 seconds, it's showing 14 seconds. Okay. And throwing this as output, whatever I have given as input over here. But when you just assume the situation when you have a lot of different test cases, for example, 50 or 100 test case, will you sit like this and type one by one? No, you cannot put in right. So at that case, what you have to do is you can pass all the input in a file and can input and feed the input into this. Now, so for that, now let's create a file of inputs. For instance, nano. I'm going to create a sample input. Sample input dot txt. And here I'm going to type input 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 5. We are just expecting only 5 input isn't right now. So I'm giving 5. Or shall we change it to 10? We'll update that 5 to 10 in our code file. Okay. In our code file, I have updated the number of input to 10. So here on this input, I'm going to give. It is not necessary. It's not like that. You have to give only numbers in order. You can give any number. Okay. You can give anything. You can give anything over here. 7, 8, 9. Not 1000. Okay. So total 10 inputs are there. I'm going to press Ctrl S to save it and Ctrl X to close this file. Got it. Now we have created a file called sample input.txt. You can see it here. ls command is used to view all the files present in the directory. Got it. So now let's try to feed this input to our code file. So we can do file 3. I'm going to feed the input. What's the name of the input file? Sample input.txt. You can use a less than symbol over there to feed input to it. But so just before, you would have seen me entering input one by one. But right now, I'm going to feed all the input at once through this sample input.txt file. Got it? While we solve different problem statements, we will be giving different test cases over there. Here, as I'm trying to show the difference between different methods of getting input, the difference between the time, okay, the execution time of different input methods. I'm just giving this sample input text. We are just focusing on only the execution time of input. Okay, understood? So here you got 7.34. I think this is probably in milliseconds. I think this is in milliseconds. So now let's create another file for the method 2. I hope my screen is updated in my screen. So I'm going to create another Python file, method 2 in. Here also I'm going to import time, and then also I'm going to do the same task but in a different way. For each in terms of 10. I'm going to 10 input, is it? So now I'm going to open. Here I'm going to use, in the previous code, we used input of function. The method we are going to use is dot standard dot read line. Oh, and then we are going to print all the received inputs. So instead of print, this time we will try to use this dot standard output dot write. I'm not sure if this list will be printed over there. Let's see while during execution. Okay. Now issue. Our primary focus is on the input ways. The time of execution taken by different input. Alright, that is our main focus. Start equal to time dot time out. Then n equal to time dot time out. Then I'm going to print the time as well. N minus start. Okay. Now I'll switch to the terminal. Now let's try to execute the new file which we created. So now we're going to feed the same input file to the method 2. You can use tab to or get it auto completed. Okay, if the file is present in the directory, then that file will get the name will get it. When you press tab, you will get that auto completed. Okay, so I didn't import CC something. Okay, I will update it in the code. I'll show you later. But right now I will update it. I will show you when I broadcast my code screen. Now I'm showing my terminal. Listen, just for a small change, I'm not doing any transition. After executing, I will show you. I have imported sys. Okay, now I have updated our file. I have imported sys. Now let's try. What's it showing? Not list. Okay, okay. It will not print the list. Okay, just like normal print, this will not. I'm going to again update the code, and I will show you those changes later. Later means once after we save this execution. Now you can see this has completed a task just in 2.4 milliseconds. Okay, for updated the code again just to bring the time down. I'll show you all the changes. Okay, switch there. Okay, that's not happening. Let's just have right and then disconnect. Let's simply give a new line. Excuse me, sorry. So previously, in method 1, when we used input of, it took 4 seconds, 9 seconds, 4 seconds. And as an average, let's take it as 6 seconds. Okay. In method 2, let's take the average 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. So we got all the 3 times 2.2.2. Not seconds, I think it's millisecond. Okay. And in method 1, we got 4, 9, and 4. As an average, let's take it as 5 to 6. Okay. But anyhow, what we can understand from here is this method. This method, I will share you this. The method 2. This way of getting input is faster than using input of method. Understood? So this is what I tried to convey you. Next, let's see. Uh, I said to you, right? If we have n number of test cases, then we will probably give the input through a file. In that cases, if we feed input, then we also have n number of output also, isn't it? So if we want all those output in a separate file, what we can do is we can, so for example, let's create again. Let I'll choose to move to. Okay, no problem. First of all, I will edit this code. Method 1 and method 2 difference is over. Now I'm trying to tell you how to write the output to a output file. Understood? Input part, the difference I have shown, that is over. Instead of creating a new file, I'm going to show that in the same file. So understand, all these code files you can access from the GitHub repository. I have given the link to the GitHub repository in the description of the slide. You can find the link and access it. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to open. I'm no more going to calculate the time. I'm going to comment those lines. Okay, because the mail is over. Because instead of creating a new file, just going to show that in the same file itself. Uh, out. I'm going to create a variable out. Excuse me, guys. I'll get back to you soon. Okay. Sorry, guys, for the delay. I'm facing some issue uh, with my nose. I know it's getting trouble. Sorry. Sorry for the interruption. Okay. Let's now let's now import IO. Uh, I will dot out now. I'm going to create a file over here. Output dot or let's take sample output dot txt. RB, sorry, not RB, WB. I'm going to write this. So I'm giving WB. Then I'm going to write the output one by one to this output file. So the value that I get from the user is stored is appended to this temp list, isn't it? So now I'm going to access those, and because the new value is going to be present at the last. So I'm just trying to get the last element at each iteration. Okay. At each iteration, I'm going to access the last element present in 10. Each time the last element is going to change because new value is getting appended to the list. So the new value is what is going to be presented at last. That's why I'm giving something like this. Okay. Right. Let's try to execute the code. If you face an error, we will fix it up. No problem. Okay, okay. Sorry. Uh, we have to encode it. Encode. While I try to execute, we got an error. That's because I didn't encode the input. Okay, sorry, I didn't share my terminal. Listen, sorry, okay, sorry. I will share my terminal. Now we have sample out dot text. Okay, let me delete it. Sample out dot text. Okay, now clear. Now I'm going to execute the file which we edited right now. So now you can see we have, okay, no problem. Once again, I will delete it because I want to show you that. Okay, now we don't have a sample output.txt, isn't it? we do not have a file called sample output.txt in this directory. When we run that specific code, it gets created. The outputs are going to be stored in this file, which is going to be created next when we execute it. So now, after execution, now you can see when we put same ls, now you can see sample output.txt. Previously, it was not present in this directory. Now it got created. Shall we just edit it and see? And we see the input that we gave from the input files are present here. Understood? Now assume that I have another expected output file. This is the sample output which got created, isn't? Just assume that I have 120,000. In the test case, we will have our test case prepared before we formulate the solution itself, isn't? To check if all the output is equal to the expected output, I'm going to use a command diff. And before that, to have a file like that, let's create a new file, nano expected output. Expected out dot here. Let's see 4, 5, 6. What are the value present over there? 10, 8, 20,000 actually. It's correct. Okay, no problem. Even if it's not correct, you have different scenarios. I will be explaining that to you. Okay, now we can use diff. Uh, First, we have to pass our sample out.txt, and then after leaving a space, we have to give our expected out.txt. I'm using tab to get it auto completed. Okay, you can also use tab key to get all your files present in it auto completed in your terminal. All right. So, as we don't have any difference between those two files, it's returning nothing. It's just returning none. But if we have, let's now go and edit the expected output. Or let's now edit the what? Let's now edit. Or no problem. Let's edit the same expected output. Just I'm expecting when I give 1,000, just for a assumption. Okay. Just to I want to show you some error over there. That's why I'm editing the expected output file. Okay. In reality, in real time scenario, you should not edit the expected output file because that is what the correct input, correct output uh, to check whether your algorithm is generating the expected output. So now I edited the expected output file to show you the difference. Now you can see in the place I expect 100. Previously we didn't get any output, isn't it? Because that means all the output that is present in the expected output file and the sample output file are same. If we do not have error and if our algorithm is working correct, then we will get nothing in this command. But if there are any difference, then we will probably receive something like this. So in this case, it's showing in the place where we want to get 100, we are receiving 1,000. This is what it shows because expected output is 100, isn't it? But we have 1,000 in our sample output text file. So that's why it is getting. So when we see something like this, we have to debug our algorithm at that particular test scenario with a test case because an algorithm can work for some test case, but for other test case it might not work. That means our logic, the algorithm has to be updated in such a way that it accepts any type of input and works in the expected way. Understood? So this is what I plan to convey to you. Uh, I hope all of you understand how to verify the expected output with the output generated by or algorithm. Right now, this is not algorithm. We just gave the input and directly the input is saved over in the output file. But in real time, the output will be generated by the logic that we are going to write. Okay. So as I say, as today is a starting day, in the last 15 minutes, let's see uh, very small problem statements. Okay. As a first step towards it. Okay. Before that, let me share my code editor screen. Okay, these files will be there. You can access this from GitHub repository. Okay. And one more thing, this sys.standardin.readline will not work from Jupyter notebook. It will work only outside this. That means it will work from the terminal, but it will not work from the Jupyter notebook. Understood? Okay. Okay. So first step, what problem statement? Do you guys have any problem statements? If you have, you can submit your problem statement. Uh, I'll show you the link to submit problem statement is given in the description of this live itself. And make sure you join Telegram channels as well because you will be if you have any reference link or something else, and the meeting link will also be shared there. Okay. So make sure to join Telegram channel as well so that you can directly talk to me in the Q&A sessions which then we will conduct. If you need to conduct, you can say it in the comments that you need Q&A session. If you type Q&A, I will start Telegram meeting at the end of this live session. Okay. This is applicable to all day. It's not just limited to today. Every day in the last 15 minutes, that means at around 8:45, if you type Q&A, then it means I will consider that somebody have some doubt and I have to start Telegram meeting. Okay. I have taken the link to our problem statement, and it will ask you to sign in. I do not want to sign in right now in this because I have enabled to write authentication. Right now, I do not want to sign in. But you can in that form, what will be there means I'll tell you just like that. I'll tell you instead of showing. Okay. Uh, you will get columns to type your problem statement and place to type your input and output, sample input and sample output, and make sure that you give at least two sample input and two sample output. Give output of with the corresponding input which you give. Okay. Don't randomly pick some number and upload it. And if you do not want to type, then you have another option as well. You can just take screenshot of the problem statement that you want me to solve, and along with the input and output samples. Okay, you can upload screenshots also. You can upload. I think I have given limited to up to 5. I think I'm not sure about it, but you can upload multiple screenshots in a single go. But make sure you just give only one problem statement in a submission. If you have multiple problems, then uh, submit one by one. Don't upload all the photos in a single go. Submit each question one by one. Okay. So to take a screenshot of one question along with its input and output, upload it, submit it, and then again come to that form. Then take screenshot of next question and it's along with its output. Then upload it and submit it. Okay. I hope all of you understood this. Okay. Now let's see a small coding. Mm, Right now, let's see prime number. Okay, prime number. Okay, for this time is not. We just only have 8 minutes left. Okay, within that 8 minutes, what problem can we look? Mm, why I awarded prime numbers? Because there are different ways to solve that prime number itself. I want to show you each and every different ways of solving prime number problem. That's why in this 8 minutes I cannot show you. Even if I show you, I want you to understand that I don't think that beginners will be able to catch it in this 8 minutes. So I'll take some small problem. Okay, no problem. Okay, just assume you are given a problem statement that where you are given a condition that you should use a for loop and ranging from 1 to 10. 10 means you are given with 11 and you are asked to write code here, complete the code. Complete the code and the sample output that you get in this. So let me make this as a top 5. Okay, complete the code. Sample input, no sample input, but output expected is input of the n equal to input of uh, input of sample output expected is sample output. If n equal to 2, then the sample output expected is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. The sample output 2 is 3. Okay, instead of having 3, let's have 1 because it is not just because, sorry, I'm not giving 1 because I don't, not because I don't know the table 3. I know table 3, but I uh, want you to write a code to meet a condition. That's why. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's why I give 1 n equal to 1. It is not because I don't know the 3 table. I know 3 table, but I want to convey a thing. That's why I give this specific sample output. So what can you infer from this is when n equal to 1, you have to print 1, 2, 3, 4 till 10. And when n is equal to 2, then you have to probably generate something like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So this is the problem statement given. You have to complete the code. So let's copy the problem. And the rest of the thing we have to work. Okay. Now let's first of all let's print and see what this for loop prints. For I in range, I is the variable, our counter variable isn't. For I, sorry, okay. Problem is update. For if we give 1, it is printing 1 to 10. Let's try. If we give 2, it is printing 1 to 10. Irrespective of what input we give, This loop is printing 1 to 10. So when we give 1, we are getting the output expected in sample 2. Sample output 2 is now satisfied. We are getting this. Isn't when n is 1, the expected output is 1 to 10 again. It is getting generated. But when we give 2, the expected output is 2, 4, 6, 8 till 20, but we are getting the same 1, 2, 3 till 10. So this is what I am trying to convey. An algorithm may work for one specific input but may not work for another input. But what's our task? We should make that algorithm work correctly irrespective of the input it gets. So in this case, what can we do? See, for one, it is done. Let's think about how for loop works. In the first iteration, we will get in the first iteration you will get I equal to 1, and this I equal to 1 will get come into the body, isn't it? Now I is 1. Just understand the way how I think. Okay, I equal to 1. This is getting into the body. With this we have 1, but what do we need? When n is equal to 2, when n is equal to 2, we need, in the first iteration, we need the algorithm to print 2. We have 1, 1, and the operation which we have to perform dash equal to 2. What operation if you do over here, we will be able to print 2. What operation? Can you guess? What are the possibilities? One possibility is we want 2 here. One possibility is we can put plus then 1. We are getting 2. Okay. Now this is 2. First iteration we are getting 2. First output is fine. Now in the loop, the second iteration, the second loop, we will get 2, isn't it? Okay, now we are using here I isn't I plus 1. We are trying to use this specific formula. This is not minus. This is not minus. Okay, this is not minus. This is something that we have to place. We are trying to form an expression or a formula like expression. Okay, so that will work correctly for all n to get the expected output. So in that case, when I is equal to 2, if we once if we use this formula, this is going to be iterated for all groups, and if we give this formula in the body of this code, then this is with this particular I plus 1 is going to be executed, isn't it? So when I equal to 2, the same I plus 1 means what will happen? Currently I is 2, so 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. What is our expected output? Our expected output is 4, but we receive 3. That so what this means is this formula will not work. So we have to find another formula. Got it? Now reset. Now let's delete whatever we have written. Now again n is equal to 2, I is equal to 1 in first iteration. Now I am trying to try with different expression. I plus 1 is not working. Understood, right? So we want another. What is another possibility? When we give I dash dash, okay, I equal to, when we gave plus 1 for the first iteration it worked, but for the second onwards it started making error, isn't? We are not getting the expected output. What is our expected output? 4. We didn't get it. So we should have a formula which works for both first iteration as well as second iteration. When we print I, it is working for n is equal to 1, but it didn't work for 2. So that's why we are planning to replace that print I with something else, isn't it? So similarly, the same situation is happened here, but within the same input value itself, with different iteration, we are not getting expected output. So in this case, what we can do is, what's another possibility? One is I plus 1, 1 plus 1 equal to 2. What is another possibility? With this 1, we have 1. Having this 1 itself, we should try to bring our output. We should, just because I need 2, you cannot simply go and write 5 minus 3. Something we cannot simply go and write, because if you hard coded 5 minus 3, it is going to execute in all loop 5 minus 3, and you are going to get 2 2 2 2 throughout the loop. You are not going to get 2 4 6. You'll just get 2 2 2. But at the same, but here what we need is, in each iteration we need the expected output. That means 2 4 6 8 10. Understood? So here the next part probability is, I can insert multiplication and 2. I'm getting I 1 into 2 is equal to 2. What about I equal to 2? When I becomes 2, I into 2 equal to 4. Am I getting 4? Yes, because then the next loop I becomes 2. No? So now the 2 into 2 is equal to 4, and we get the expected output. So shall we finalize this? What do you say? Yes or no? No, because currently we have given 2. But will this will work for n is equal to 2, but at the same time, will this work for n is equal to 3? For your understanding, I know this will not work, but still I will print this and show you. I into 2. Let's give 2. Now this is working perfectly for n is equal to 2. In the early stage, when we started solving this problem, we gave 1 and we got the expected result also, isn't it? Now let's again give n is equal to 1. Are we getting 1, 2, 3, 4? No, we are getting wrong answers, isn't it? When we give n is equal to 1, we expect it to print 1, 2, 3 till 10, isn't it? But whereas we do not get it. So where it would have gone wrong? Okay, let's try for 3 also. It will not work because I is going to be same. Whatever may be the n, I is going to be same. That means 1 to 10 it is going to generate. But how are we trying to? How do we try to bring the expected output of 2? We multiplied it with 2, isn't it? So when we gave n equal to 2, we multiplied I with 2. So what we can understand from this and update this code means, how we can update this code means, we can replace this 2 with n. Will this work for other things? Obviously it will work, because when we give 1, this I, 1 into 1 will be 1. And next I, the second loop, what will be the I? I will be 2, isn't it? So currently n is equal to 1. So 2 into 1 is equal to 2. 3 into 1 is equal to 3. So we get the expected output. Now let's check for 2. And we get the expected output. What about 3? There too, we are getting the expected output. So you understood how we formulated this expression I into n? I hope all of you followed it. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comments. I will start Telegram meeting and clear your doubts. If no one is commenting, I will consider that you don't have any doubts. It's not like you should ask only the doubt about what we learned the current day. You can also ask doubts about whatever we learned in the previous sessions also. Understood? So please do share, subscribe this channel and support this community. And thanks for watching. That's it for today. See you tomorrow with another problem statements. Stay active. Go through all the questions that we covered. If you have any doubt, please make note of that and let me know tomorrow. So until then, bye bye.